Slaves worked all the hours they were awake for their entire lives. I think, like, if they can do it, so can I.
Is somebody living on
I celebrate
all of your day in Africa is getting up in the morning and saying, I'm going to be Bill Gates?
That's the motivation everybody needs.
If you're a man and you're single, right, no kids, you're not working at least 80 hours a week, the fact is that you're lazy.
99% of people have no excuse for not being able to make 10 grand a month.
We live in a day in society where hustle culture is heavily promoted. And I've been one of those people that was guilty of heavily promoting hustle culture as well. Not only just to myself, but to others. Go, 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 go. Don't stop. Keep going. Don't take no days off. Sleep when you die. Somebody else out there while you're sleeping is up and getting it done. Today, we're going to talk all about hustle culture and burnout. And I'm going to break it up into 3 parts. And you just have to stick around to see what those 3 parts are. But before we get into it, first, hey friend, welcome to my channel, Creating Elude Mental Gems. This channel is dedicated to leveling up in all areas of your life. So let us learn together, read together, but most importantly, grow together. Now, without further ado, let's get into this video. Now, the first part, we're going to talk about burnout. What is burnout? How did we get to this point where so many people are burnt out? Burnout didn't used to be something that was as prevalent in the past. We wouldn't really hear about it like that, like people taking their lives because they feel overworked and stuff like that. I feel like with more and more time, as time comes, more and more people are becoming overworked. And it's overworked by choice, not necessarily even by the man. Yes, there are people that have to be overworked to provide and put food on their tables. Like, I came from the hood where most parents had 2 or 3 jobs and side hustles at home. So they had no choice. If they didn't do it, you wouldn't eat. It is necessary for a lot of people to have multiple jobs and work themselves to the ground. But now we're finding that more and more younger, like I'm looking at college kids that are in their freshman year of college. They're just taking their prerequisites, or even high school kids, like their senior year, are working like grown adults, working 2, 3 jobs, doing side hustles, trying to monetize social media as well, selling whatever. Like there's girls that are like 16, they're selling bundles, lashes, and they're working a full-time job. Plus they're in school. I'm talking about senior year, still trying to situate college. I'm like, hold on. Why are you going so hard? So soon, so early. But it's to live a lifestyle that they see their favorites are living on social media. They feel like, I want to travel every summer to 5, 6 different locations. I want to have the latest bag, or, that Stanley Cup or whatever. They want to be able to afford what they see on social media. And plus, social media promotes these memes, these TikToks, these reels, these videos that shows you if you're not at a certain place by a certain age, then what are you really doing with your life? If you're not overworking or tired or grinding, then you're lazy, you'll never amount to anything, blah, 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 all of that stuff. And I'm not going to lie, I did subscribe to those ideologies in the beginning when I first started getting into the workforce, where I was doing a lot. I was in school, working full time, having side hustles, doing other stuff. And I was a little burnt out. I got sick. I'll tell y'all my story right now, which is the first part. What is burnout, whatever. I was going so hard. And I was working full time, in school full time, had side hustles from my job, and I had just started my YouTube channel. And that was in the year 2020, around COVID. And let me tell you, darling, I got so sick. I thought it was the vid. I thought I got the vid and I was going to die. It wasn't even the vid. I got tested for the vid so many times it wasn't the vid. But my body just shut completely down. I could not feed myself. I could not bathe. I could not even water. I couldn't even be in my house by myself. I had to go be with my best friend for some time. And people had to literally look after me. And that happened for a good 2.5 to 3 weeks, where I remember I was not eating so much that I lost like 20, almost 30 pounds, that I did nothing but sleep during that time that I was that sick. I did nothing but sleep, tried to drink as much water as possible, pray. When I tell you, I was making deals with God. Like, God, please make me survive this. Allow me to live. Like, I don't want to die. I don't know what this is. Like, they done did every test. I'm okay. They literally could not tell me what was wrong with me. And because I've had IBS before, I'm like, maybe this is IBS. But no, this was beyond IBS, because IBS can give you other symptoms that are like, This was like, I had flu-like symptoms, but it wasn't necessarily a flu. I was getting fevers. It was just really, really, really bad on me. And I was annoyed with going to the hospital because they really could not, and it just came to me that the Holy Spirit taught me in that moment and was like, Kareen, this the only way you was going to take a break. I kid you not. Because I ended up resting so much, sleeping. By the time I ate, I started eating. I felt so great. I felt so energized. And I was about to go back into work, but I saw that I had an aversion to going back in full mode. I was getting anxiety at the thought of having to grind again. And I was like, whoa, if this is the biggest sign that you have burnout, is that when you take a break, you physically get sick at the thought of going back to work. And I was like, oh my goodness, okay, this is not right. And then it started clicking for me. The Lord started showing me that, yeah, it was burnout. Burnout made you sick, working so much, staying up late at night, grinding. I would be up till 3, 4 in the morning, trying to get a paper done, trying to get this video done too, this research, and do everything all at once. And then going to sleep I'm staying up till 3 a.m., waking up at 8 a.m. It was like, girl, what were you doing? Of course you were going to crash. And at that moment, I was like, okay, I have to cut some stuff out of my life. Yes, I want to be the first Haitian super billionaire or whatever, weird dreams I had at that time. And I was like, you're not going to get there doing this and that. It's just I reevaluated my dreams. And I'm like, first of all, what I want out of life is to be healthy. Because there's a lot of people that gets the wealth. And I'll tell you guys this story of this Haitian lady. I believe I said it before on this channel, where she was working 3 jobs. She was working at a hospital. She was a nurse here. No, CNA. She was a CNA, and she was making plates at home as a side hustle, selling plates. And she was doing another job. I believe it was cleaning. I don't remember. I guess she was working 3 jobs, building a house back home in Haiti so that she could retire and go live in that home. So all her money, she was working so hard to build that house so she could retire quickly and go back. And all that money she made, she put into the house, got the house built and everything. As she's preparing to go back to that house, this lady just died. She didn't even get to deal with the house, and it was fatigue because she was working her last extra couple days to make enough to get the furnishings in the house. Now the house is done. We got water coming in, central cooling system. Guess who now has the house? It's her kids. And her kids don't even care about the house. They don't even care about the house. They're not trying to go back to Haiti. Just keeping it real. But they lost their mom because their mom, this was just her main focus. And it's now what? It was a lesson of fatigue not only can kill with heart problems, there's physical tolls it takes on your body when you're not taking care of yourself and you're overgoing. So I'm telling you, this topic is near and dear to me because I really could have lost my life. I literally was kissing death. And the Lord took me to such an extreme point to be you need to chill. And now I reevaluated because I'm imagine, not blaming her or anything, but if she just prioritized her kids, her being healthy, being in the moment, her health. I understand the good intentions of trying to build a legacy back home. Your kids can go to, you can go to, but no one cared. That house is probably crumbling now. People resented the home because instead we wanted you. We wanted you here. We cared about you. And that's what I mean by you can work hard for something. And I'm telling you, 100 years from now,
2124. We will all be buried with our relatives and friends. Strangers will live in our homes which we fought so hard to build. And they will own everything we have today, including that car you spent a fortune on. Our descendants will hardly know who we were. How many of us know our grandfather's father? After our death, we will be remembered for a few years. And a few years later, our history, our photos, our deeds go into the dustbin of oblivion. We won't even be memory. Maybe if one day we stopped to analyze these questions, we would understand how ignorant and weak the dream of obtaining everything was. Always having more and more without having time for the things that are really worthwhile in this life. I'd change all that to live and enjoy those walks I've never taken.
People are most likely not going to even remember your name. And if you're Christian, you know to live for heaven. That's all. My riches are in heaven, not here. My goals have changed. I don't want to be the richest somebody. I just want to be able to take care of myself, be healthy, live a long and happy life. And when I have children and a spouse, live as long as I can for them. And reevaluated this grind. I got to be better than, like, strive for super excellence. It's draining. It's stressful. It's a mental toll on you. You want the biggest house. You want this. It's okay to have dreams. Like, I have dreams. I have goals. I'm still working. But when you have such high dreams, you have to be a person who mentally can handle the load and the work that is going to take to get there, because it's not easy. And I realized for me, I love to work. I'm a hard worker. I'm consistent in my work, but I don't want to work this hard for anything in life except for my salvation. And that even is, God ain't gonna ask you to burn yourself out. You feel me? So I've reevaluated it. But what is burnout? It's different for you. Some of the ways you can know you're burnout, of course, is with the obvious, is exhaustion. You're always tired. I have my list here, everything that I was feeling. You're always tired. You're tired doing nothing. If you slept for 10, 12 hours and then you wake up still tired, honey, you are exhausted. You are probably dealing with burnout, okay? Next is insomnia. You can't sleep at night. You're tossing and turning. Your mind is running a mile a minute. If you find when your mind should quiet down, that's when you're thinking of every single thought that was ever created. That is burnout. And a lot of people think that it's only older people that get burnout. No, kids can have it too. I'm telling you, there's people in high school that's already dealing with burnouts, having anxiety and panic attacks and all those things from just doing too much. You trying to apply for college, that stress, you're dealing with prom, you're dealing with this, you're working and you're doing homework, and then you're coming home to parents that expect you to have all the energy in the world because you shouldn't be tired. I'm old. I should be tired. Y'all kids are doing a lot today. And if you're a parent that sees that your kids are doing a lot, they're doing more than we ever had to in our time. It's not back then. I much rather do a lot of chores, because that was mostly what we had to do, was chores and stuff like that when you grow up as a kid in the past. But now these kids are having the burden of society at an age where we're so easily influenced to be millionaires at 18. This is the pressure they feel on they have to have their first house by 21. This is the amount of pressure. And they still got to wear designer, look good, travel. Like, that pressure, I couldn't even imagine having that at my young age. Next is anxiety. Of course, I was having anxiety and panic attacks when I was burnt out. Now I'm not having those at all. Then there's depression, headaches, health issues, heart problems. Like I said, you could get a heart attack, stroke, aneurysms. You can have mental breaks. You could literally go crazy over overworking yourself. It's not a light issue. It's not cute. And I don't know why society keep pushing this. It's just not cute. And then, of course, irritability. You're snapping at people. You're shorter. You don't have a good temper. Your patience is gone. You're not understanding why you're so mad all the time. And it's easier for you to get into arguments and fights. You're just annoyed at everything, the world, everything. Okay. Next is social isolation. You don't want to be around people. Any chance you get for some peace and quiet. That was one of my red flags. When I notice I'm getting like that again, then I know, okay, you're getting burnt out. That when I no longer want to just hang out with people at all, even the people that bring joy to my heart, like I can go, I don't know, weeks or months without hearing from people that I know I love to hear from. And when they actually call or want to meet up or hang out, I'm like, then I know you're getting burnt out. You start to isolate yourself. You want to be alone. You rather watch old comedies or Netflix or this and that. It's a sign of burnout and the depression creeping in, okay? Next is lacking motivation, cynicism, okay? Cynicism, just seeing the worst in life, not being motivated to get up. you're seeing the glass, you're more pessimistic than usual, it's a sign of burnout. Like, it's not going to work out anyways. You're cynical about everything. Depersonalization, which is where you don't even know yourself anymore. You don't recognize yourself. You're foreign to yourself. Like, you don't see yourself as a human. And a lot of celebrities go through this. A lot of celebrities are burnt out, and we make fun of them. They go to substances to cope. But it's like when Mariah had her breakdown, and she was just basically like, I'm just a tool for people to make money off of. And it's a real thing. So they disassociate themselves from Mariah the person to Mariah the commodity, the product, and they remove themselves completely, and they can't even recognize themselves, and they have mental breaks. This is a real thing where now even the young lady that was the dorm mate, she saw her whole identity was to make her parents proud, her family proud. And who she was, this wasn't even the major she wanted to be in. So you don't even recognize who you are anymore. Burnout can do that to you. Difficulty concentrating, procrastination, putting it off for tomorrow, slipping job performances, making mistakes while you're working, like truck drivers get into more accidents when they're burnout or whatever. You make little mistakes, especially at factory. Cognitive problems, feeling empty, feeling of apathy and hopelessness, feeling doomed, have your sleep habits change, loss of enjoyment, loss of appetite, or increase in appetite, neglecting personal needs, pessimism, and reduced performance. These are all signs of burnout. And if you struggle with any of that, comment below what your experience are. But I was dealing with all of these. And it was a wake-up call for me because I am a workaholic. I do enjoy working. So I not bargain with God, but tried to understand where can I find a balance. This is the concept of having a Sabbath, where now science is telling you that they do studies to justify what the Bible been saying for years. But that's all science has been doing lately. It's just proving the Bible, right? But that people who take one day off, for every 6 days you work, you need at least one lazy day. You're not doing anything. You're better for it mentally. And this is the concept of the Sabbath. And I take my Sabbath. Like Friday, as soon as the sun sets, there is no work. Don't talk to me about work. Don't message me about work. I'm not thinking about work until Saturday sundown, which is for me Sunday the next morning. So from Friday night to Sunday morning, Karina's not working no matter what, right? I'm taking that break. I'm doing the most laziest things possible. I'm not thinking about work. And I try to have one more of those days during the week. I'll go really hard Sunday to Tuesday, take a break on Wednesday, and then Wednesday to Friday, because I will work on Friday until sundown. But I wake up, I'll do my 12, 13-hour days. If I have to, I'll do it with working. But I know those days are my reset, lazy days. Do what you want. You need to have a balance. You can work. You can love work and doing what you do. But when you take those breaks, you come back with a little bit more clarity, more energy. Now, the second part I want to get into with this is the biblical aspect, because I know the Bible talks about laziness a lot. And if you don't work, you shouldn't eat. But the Bible also talks about burnout. I don't want people to use burnout as a reason to be lazy. If, for instance, you work, you only really focus and work 1 day to 2 days, you know when you're not doing the most that you could. You rather be partying all the time. Financially, you're at the brink of homelessness. You're one paycheck away from homelessness. And you're talking about burnout? Okay, don't use this as an excuse. And I know there's people that use burnout as an excuse to not produce as much as they should be producing. That's not you, okay? But the Bible does talk about burnout. And my favorite story of that is Exodus 18, verse 13 to 27, where it talks about Moses having burnout and his father-in-law instructing him, hey, you're doing too much, you need to chill. The next day, it reads, the next day Moses took his seat to serve as judge for the people, and they stood around him from morning till evening. When his father-in-law saw all that Moses was doing for the people, he said, what is this you are doing for the people? Why do you alone sit as judge, while all these people stand around you from morning till evening? Moses answered him, because the people come to me to seek God's will. Whenever they have a dispute, it is brought to me, and I decide between the parties and inform them of God's decrees and instructions. Moses' father-in-law replied, what are you doing? What you are doing is not good. You and these people who come to you will only wear yourselves out. The work is too heavy for you. You cannot handle it alone. Listen now to me, and I will give you some advice, and may God be with you. You must be the people's representative before God and bring their disputes to him. Teach them his decrees and instructions, and show them the way they are to live and how they are to behave. But select capable men from all the people, men who fear God, trustworthy men who hate dishonest gain, and appoint them as officials over thousands, hundreds, fifties, and tens. Have them serve as judges for the people at all times, but have them bring every difficult case to you. The simple cases they can decide themselves. That will make your load lighter, because they will share it with you. If you do this in God's sole commands, you will be able to stand the strain, and all these people will go home satisfied. Moses listened to his father-in-law and did everything he said. He chose capable men from all Israel and made them leaders of the people, officials over thousands, hundreds, fifties, and tens. They served as judge for the people at all times. The difficult cases they brought to Moses, but the simple ones they decided were themselves. Then Moses sent his father-in-law on his way, and Jethro returned to his own country. Why I love this is because not only was Moses, he listened to his father-in-law. You have to listen to when people tell you sometimes you're doing too much, because there was people telling me I'm doing too much and I need to chill. And I would not listen. I was arrogant. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, whatever, you don't have the drive that I have. You're gonna be stuck where you're at. I kept going, but they could see, sis, you're doing too much. So I like this example that Moses actually listened. He did what his father-in-law said, but his father-in-law was like, what you're doing is too much. Get help. A lot of times we don't want to get help. We want to be superwoman. We want to be Superman. We want to do everything by ourselves. We feel like if I'm not the one doing it, it's not going to be done right. So we don't even think about or dream about getting help. But God is telling you, honey, you need help. You need help, and it's okay to get help. Do not feel guilty about getting help. Do not feel bad about getting help. That you need help. Allocate some of these different tasks to different people. You can't do everything on your own. And I love that, because Moses was burnt out. He was tired day and night. They're bringing everything to him. And I feel like I'm speaking to a mother right now. In the house, your husband, your kids, everybody come to you for everything. And you're not delegating to get any help. You're scared to ask the husband for any help because you want to be superwoman. You want to be superwoman to your kids. Like, get some help. It's not right for you and your mental health. And the Lord did not rebuke Jethro. The Lord did not rebuke Moses in doing this. The Lord was like, he allowed this part to be in the Bible for a reason. Everything that's in the Bible is for a reason. And I trust that and believe that the Lord wanted us to see. And even in like the Levitical laws, when you saw how even the land, the Lord would ask on the 7th year that you do not harvest, you do not leave the ground alone. Let it rest. Let it rest. God asked that on the 7th day, remember the Sabbath to keep it holy. 6 days you shall do all your work and labor. But on the 7th day is the day of the Lord. In it you shall do no work. You nor thy son, nor thy daughter, nor thy manservant, nor any man that is within thy gates. Do any work on the 7th day. Why is that? Because the Lord knows you need rest. The land on the 7th year need rest. And even on the 7th year, you let go of any slaves that were in bondage to you in Israel, that were servants in your home for pay, whatever. Let them go on the 7th year. Even the Lord knows the earth itself need rest. It needs to replenish. Now we just taking so much resources from the earth. This is why we're having so many volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, hurricanes, natural phenomena just keep happening. We're taking so much from the resources. We're not even letting it rest. People are harvesting, fishing illegally, doing so much. There's no preservation. And we will see the results of that. Just like with the human body, I believe the earth is similar to the human body. If you keep taking from it and not letting it replenish itself, eventually it will die. It will die. You will die. You will shave off years of your life. If you're not sleeping, if you're not drinking water, if you're not resting and you're constantly on go, I'm sorry to inform you, you will die. You will die. You will die. And I don't want that for any of you guys watching. And I don't want that for your spouses, your children. If you're a parent watching this, don't keep pushing your kids, push like that. You're going to kill your kids. That's what's going to happen. If you're a wife, and there's a lot of wives, because there's a sad story with that. Wife that is a stay-at-home wife. Husband doing everything. And she saw that, hey, eventually husband was burning out. He wasn't himself. He started losing his hair. He was tired. He's complaining about the overwork, but he's a strong, masculine man, want to provide. Eventually what happens? Stroke. Death. Now what? Now what? We have to help each other, be a shoulder for people, and be a Jethro in someone's life. If you know someone that's overworking, that may need this warning to chill. Don't subscribe to all these ideologies that the world is giving that you must be on go all the time. Send this video to them. Comment below your own experiences. And if you watch until the end, leave a pink or white heart or a flower emoji. I know you guys can probably not see, but it's a white flower in a picture. The lighting sometimes, but I love you guys so much. Thank you for tuning in until the very end. And I will see you guys in my very next one.